Blog Talk Radio.
Yo, what's up, world? It's badass thuggin' like I usually do, and you better turn it up, bust some speakers out, cause we off the motherfucking cuff. You dig how we do it? Dog Pound Gangsters 2000 and beyond. Black.
Yo, check this out. This is your girl, Cola Vogue, and I'm chilling with my boys right here on Off the Cuff Radio. Cause we off the cuff right now. You dig?
Bet. What's up? It's your boy Lil Yap from UNLV, bragging up from the river, cooling with my homies and my family at Off the Cuff Radio. Y'all be sure to tune in on Fridays and get the latest scoop and find out what's happening. You heard me?
Tiffany Lavon.
And it's Queen Queasy, your girl's favorite bartender.
And we're from
Sex on the Rocks podcast.
Alright, you're now tuning in to Off the Cuff Radio.
Yeah, because they keep representing that world hip hop. Yo, much love.
Alright. Y'all, this is Princess Daisy giving a shout out to King Eric and Off the Cuff Radio. Keep doing your thing, puppy.
Hey y'all, this is Stacey Lachey giving a shout out to King Eric and Off the Cuff Radio.
What's shaking, y'all? This is the Grand, 1/2 of Lost Cause and 1/3 of that Drive Time thing. Sending my love to the homies over at Off the Cuff Radio. Tune in every Friday night for some real deal hip-hop conversation. These dudes are the connoisseurs of this thing. You already know what it is. BX Stand Up, HUD City, we're shaking. Peace.
Yo, this is Dope Fresh to Dine, and y'all tuned in to the most raw, uncut show on radio, the Guillotine Team, Off the Cuff, and yo, Eric, Sandman, off of these clowns' heads.
You are confusing, as Korzybski would say.
Top of the world!
The map with the
Yeah. Couple million in a duffel bag. Fuck the feeling, a lot familiar with suckers fast. Money, may it rain on your fitted cap. Really feeling the feeling like Bishop coming back. Yeah, hit your ceiling, leave your skull detached. Swinging chopsticks, nigga, I'm a lumberjack. Nigga gave a statement, we ain't feeling none of that. Flexing on the grand, we ain't fearing none of that. All clearance on my appearance and flash a stack. They gon' crease you up, they gon' iron your slack. Stuff you in the trunk again if you come to that. Leave you with a pumpkin head, bitch. See, we really in the streets. These niggas real in the booth. These niggas real in the booth. That shit ain't real to me. These niggas watching my moves. These niggas watching my moves. Bitch, nigga, I got the juice. Nigga, I got the juice. Bitch, nigga, I got the juice. Nigga, I got the juice. Bitch, nigga, I got the juice. Nigga, I got the juice. Bitch, nigga, I got the juice. Nigga, I got the juice. Screaming, bitch, back here. Still got beef with Rider Man. Came from the bottom, I slept without a bed. Niggas want eat, serve knots and pot of heads. I'ma shoot it, I'ma click it to mines, it's out of lead. Click. Money missaid, get robbed and not a man. No. So niggas go get back and see the man. Then we double back with bananas to see your friends with a cannon. I'm not an amateur, by my revenge, nigga. Jump on the street, you can see the hands. Bandana tied, ain't your mama, click, clack, bam. Clack, bam. Popping rubber bands, nigga, stop playing and I bang this turf, nigga, with shots. We really in the streets. These niggas real in the booth. These niggas real in the booth. That shit ain't real to me. These niggas watching my moves. These niggas watching my moves. Bitch, nigga, I got the juice. Nigga, I got the juice. Bitch, nigga, I got the juice. Nigga, I got the juice. Bitch, nigga, I got the juice. Nigga, I got the juice. Bitch, nigga, I got the juice. Nigga, I got the juice. Screaming, bitch, you back. Still got beef for Rider Man. Still got beef for Rider Man.
guess I'm not what all these people make me. I'm not a racist, not a thug who shoots up cops for Nathan. I ain't come from Satan, God's portrait ain't a perfect painting. Heavenly flawed, but better be sure all my steps were ordained by the Lord and His heavenly claw. Getting home, I feel the pressure from all this beef. I feel the textures. I lie my watch and death row chain upon the dresser. Look in the mirror, and my reflection is seen a legend. It took me back when Shock and Mine told me they seen the message. My phone wagging, Big Suge calling, he double checking. Make sure I'm still rolling in Vegas with him for Tyson Seldon. Tyson my nigga, I wouldn't miss it, but couldn't tell him. I'm about to leave that row and go start my own collective. Machiavelli and euthanasia, I'm still decided. The phone clicks, the nigga guys, my young nigga from Caution. Hang up and rally up the troops, cause tomorrow we riding. Ain't really vibing, even Snoop ain't been keeping it solid. Just being honest, next morning we finally arriving. Hop out at ballet fans wildin' to see me in diamonds. Once inside it, penthouse views from the Luxor. Gun on my Bible, which one I trust more? What's war? Playing strategy if attack the public in uproar. Catching Tupac slipping, fuck no. Never knew hip-hop was a blood sport. To them niggas robbed me and shot me up in New York, bet they'll never be an encore. Ladies that ain't safe out there, please stay inside. It ain't nothing but thugs niggas out to play tonight. Headed out to MGM early, just to play it light. Got about 10 racks on me, fuck, shake the dice. Fucking all these niggas up, hit them 7 times. Tyson fucking Bruce Seldon up, hit them several times. Dropped them less than 2 minutes plus. That was record time. Homie Kane point out baby lane, it was breakfast time. Ain't with all the crip and blood shit, the politics, but niggas jumped you at the mall and snatched the chain off your neck. Nah, never disrespect when the mind niggas give a fuck where a nigga from. He out of eye with us. Ask the nigga what he wanna do before I fire on him. I ain't never think to wonder if he had the iron on him. I ain't know it. Adrenaline pumping, I went iron on him. He a young hyena. How I feel to have them lions on him. Diamond on him, Butchie on him. All the homies stomping on him. Big Frankie gotta pull me off. I'm always up to something. Fuck a front. Nigga in my eyes, you think you tough or something? He ain't tough without his gat. Only way he bustin' something. Fuck you want it. Back at the room, I'm getting ready for my club performance. Look, cause the Castro passed the best, but I don't even want it. Vegas too hot for all that shit, you gotta pick your moments. I kiss my woman, hug my cousin, then dip with the homies. First we stopping by Suge Mansion, 662, we coming. I hopped out, go up and holler about this big money. We politicking about settling all our inner funkin'. We figure we can chop it up on our way to the function. I tell my bodyguard to chill, he can drive on my youngest. The outlaws, I hop in the Beamer with Simon, he gun it. A fan stops us for a picture, I tell him to run it. Keep it 100, I flash back to that nigga who stomped it. Something is eerie in the air, it's so thick you can cut it. Stop at the light, some chicks screaming, yo, Tupac, we love it. That's how they spot us, white Cadillac is opposite us. I just look up and see his arm with a gun in his clutch. The same nigga from the MGM Grand Rush. I guess that karma hit you harder when you call it bluff. Thinking, well, all the good I did ever outweigh the bad. The irony, my main goal was always saving blacks. They hate the fact I speak my mind and never take it back. These game banging politics, such a hellacious path. Fires the weapon multiple times in my direction. Deep in my flesh is glass shattering, but it's connected. The biggest question is your spirit leave or stay after. I never died, my DNA's in all today's rappers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What it do, y'all? This your boy, King Eric the Great, coming at y'all with episode 254, Off the Cuff Radio, sponsored by Da Vinci Clothing, sponsored by Buddy Boy Entertainment. Get that Finger Roll album done by the legendary Cocaine in every platform right now, mainly at BuddyBoyEntertainment.com. And I got my co-host of the building, T-Max with the facts, right here with us.
What? Yeah, man, what it do? Another Friday night, number 254, and we still got more store. What it do, King? Shout out to our co-host and Spirited Artist Sandman and Lady Chinchilla, who's so illa. So, yeah, man, we about to do another one.
Yes, right. Call number is 1-619-924-0703 if you want to chop it up with us or you want to chop it up with our guest tonight. And before we bring them on, I want to let everybody know that I want to send a shout-out to everybody that tuned in yesterday. We had a great episode with Travis Bryant. Great dialogue, man. Built with the Wise Guys family. It was a great show, and we're going to have the replay of that up possibly next week. And I'm also going to have the replay of the episode with Loke the Smoke up as well. So be on the lookout for that on the YouTube.
Yeah. All right, King. So tell our guests about, well, tell our audience about a guest that we have on in store tonight.
This guy right here, he's currently making fire due to the response song that he made to Glasses Malone, Tupac Deserve to Die song. It was a track that we just played called Tupac's Not Dead, where he was speaking on the perspective of Tupac's life, giving him his side of the story and what happened that night in Vegas and his perspective. And what made me want to reach out to him is he's a cold spitter. And not to mention, he's down with Gonzo. Gonzo's a part of the family. He showed us a lot of love. And one of the main reasons why Off the Cuff Radio is doing what it's doing now. So, without further ado, I think this is his number right here, so bear with me. We got our boy, Mass, in the building, if this is him.
Yeah.
Yo, what it do?
Mass, what it do?
I was hoping we got it right, man. I was like, I had to make sure the area code was right.
No, I got a Chi-Town number. I'm in Dago, though, you know what I mean? So that's me, though.
Okay.
All
right, John, it's 619, man. Down in Dago, man.
Better believe it, man. Southern Cali, they don't want it.
Yeah, man. Look, seeing you down in Dago, too, I got to shout out my peoples out in Lincoln Park. Of course, CJ, Mitchie Slick and the whole Vaughn kind, man. I got to shout out love to my Dago folks.
Yeah, that. Those my niggas right there, man. Shout out Ron Kine, man. Those my niggas. The Dago thing, for real.
Definitely.
Yeah, we got San Diego, North Carolina, and we got Virginia in the building. We got the three-way connection going on here.
That's what's up right there, man. You going worldwide with this shit, man. Let's talk about it.
Definitely,
bro.
Definitely, I guess, Mass, first off, we're honored. We're so privileged to have you on our show. And I guess we go right into it. Of course, Glasses Malone with what he did with Tupac Must Die. That for obvious reasons, and it goes without saying what Tupac Amaru Shakur meant to the hip hop culture. And that fateful night, unfortunately, in 1996 in Las Vegas when he was gunned down, and Glasses, basically did a spin on it, from a perspective of the man who killed him, Orlando Anderson. What inspired you to make your response album, or your response record, rather, and how did that come about? And, you nailed Pac's vocals in terms of that inflection, man, so we got to talk about how you did that, too.
Well, first and foremost, man, I'm not new to the game. Let's understand who Mass is, you know what I mean, before we can even get where we at today, because I feel like every step I took since I even stepped into the game, even before that, you know what I mean, was building up to this day. Let me give you a little bit of backdrop. I'm 10 years old when Tupac died in 1996, okay? I'm 10 years old, so I was a super massive Tupac fan. I was all the way in it. I was engulfed in it. I was engulfed in the beef. Like, everything Pac was, I followed. I was one of them kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, literally studied the man. So when he died, I don't know what came over me, but something in my heart literally was just like, man, ain't nobody ever going to do that no more. Nobody's ever going to be able to bring it like that. Nobody's going to be that real. Nobody's going to touch people like that. Right. So I said, man, I said, I have the great opportunity right now. I'm a 10-year-old child now. I said, I have the great opportunity to build myself, to study this man, study everything this man was about, and finish his mission. That's what I'm saying. This at 10 years old. I don't know what I'm talking about. I think I don't know what I'm talking about. So from there, everything kind of moved fast. I started making music on my own, self-taught, making beats from scratch. Like, I literally did this from scratch. So by the time I hit 16 years old, I'm playing my demo for Shock G, just like Pac did. But see, Pac was 19. You got me? I was 16. And so from that second that I played Shock G, my demo, my life changed. He put me on stage that night, and that was in San Diego. They found me at home.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it get deep. So from that second on, bro, my whole life been a roller coaster of of hip-hop music, of hip-hop class. I've been a student. I've been learning this whole time. I've been just curating my mind, my spirit, to prepare me for this moment that I said I was going to have since I was 10 years old. So now, here we go today. So I'm on the internet. I'm scrolling through, and then one of my friends had posted Tupac Must Die. I seen Tupac Must Die. I seen the link, and then they had just eyes, just eyes looking. I'm like, what? Just like everybody else, I click it. I watched the story. I'm very familiar with this whole story, like real intimately. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of family involved. A lot of people that I know personally is affected by this story. So I'm really engulfed in this story. I've been following this since I was 10 years old. I've been doing my research. I've been meeting people, shaking hands, being in actual locations. Like, I've basically put my life in this shit. So, of course, it touched me a different kind of way. I was feeling some type of way, but I really wasn't going to say nothing about it outwardly. I was just going to let it do what it did and watch what everybody else was saying. And then Gonzo called me. Gonzo was like, yo, what you think about this shit? We talk about this shit or whatever. And at the end of the day, we both came to the realization that I was the only one who could do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit was meant for me to do. This is my moment for me to let the world know how I feel about Pac and what Pac really meant to me and what he meant to the world. So it was an awesome opportunity. There was really nobody else for the job. And, I had to do what I had to do, man.
No, definitely. Definitely, man. And when we look at the history with, Tupac, and to give our audience a little, our audience who may not be familiar with Shock G is, of course, along with Money B, the members of Digital Underground, who Pac was also a backup dancer for at the time, before he actually spit to them and, actually got on, from that level of emceeing. So when you're looking at it, because Pac's career in earnest as a solo artist started in 1991 with Tupacalypse Now, followed in 1992 by Strictly for My Niggas, and I mean, basically you're dealing with two albums, and although, Tupacalypse Now was, undoubtedly, and I think that was an album that didn't really catch with the public in terms of people really understanding what he had to offer. It was the second album, Strictly for My Niggas, that really got everybody on board. Holla if you hear me, I get around, but of course on the first album, with Brenda's Got a Baby and If My Homie Calls, those were hits. But I mean, you were seeing the progression, but I still think that nobody really knew what this man was going to ultimately become in terms of being such an influence. So you said at 10 years old, this, in 1996, when you were, when you heard about the news about what happened, when we all heard the news. So you were 5 years old when you really became a fan of him. So he connected with you at a very, very, very young age in terms of, what your DNA and your rhyming would eventually become. Was he the singular influence, or would you say you had others as well?
Nah, I definitely was engulfed into death row music, early on. I was captivated by the Chronic. I was captivated by Doggy Style. And being from the West Coast, it was just a new movement, a new wave, so I was loving it. And then to add Pac to it was just like, man, that time, I wish we could have them times back, man. Them times are so special in music, in the culture of black people. You know what I'm saying? That's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
That's what I was influenced by.
Definitely. And a lot of people really don't understand. Oh, go ahead, King. Go ahead.
Because we had so much music out there that dominated the waves, and it was something energetic and special.
Yeah.
And you had the people that was putting together that puzzle, and they were building those, and they was putting that puzzle together. It was just a special craft of characters, because it's like you see it today with people trying to restore the feeling, but the energy ain't there because you got to have those people.
Man, listen, man, it's one Death Row, man. Trust me. At their peak, Death Row at its peak, never, nobody ever could ever touch or see that or recreate that or duplicate that or none of that shit. That's a one of one.
And, when, we're, me and King are older, Mass, so we really, we concur with that because when you're looking at the West Coast during that time, of course, Dr. Dre with the Chronic literally started a revolution that basically continued from NWA straight out of Compton,
right.
But this was for those who have not picked it up, volumes 1 and 2, the NWA Legacy albums. So basically, you're looking at all the artists that branched off of that NWA tree. Q, Dre, Mac 10, all of them. But when you look at while we're talking about Dre with the situation, the Chronic was something that we had just never heard before. So when you're talking about what Death Row brought to the game, really starting in roughly spring of 1992 with Dre and Snoop doing Deep Cover, and that just, we're seeing this skinny kid from Long Beach, California, and it's like, his name is Snoop Dogg, and we're like, all we know is this dude is just getting on the track and just spitting, so then the Chronic comes, Snoop drops his album a year later in 93, Pac joins in 95, and you could some would even say 94 because he was on Above the Rim soundtrack, with of course, matter of fact, he had a couple of songs up there, and it's like, he brought that added element to Death Row that really would kind of cement their legacy in terms of, being the legitimate real out West. We all know the documentation of, Suge's history, good and bad. But one thing people cannot say about that man did not have a machine because Suge had a movement out there. What was it like watching that movement grow out West and then ultimately when Pac came to it? Take us, because you're younger than us, so you can really give us some perspective from what it was to be coming of age during that time in terms of watching this whole thing develop. But what was it like?
It was larger than life, man. It was just like next level. Like I said, we've never seen nothing like it. So me being a kid coming up, and I had two older sisters, you know what I'm saying? I'm the youngest of three, you know what I mean? And so my older sisters was all over it. Like, they worshiped this shit, you know what I mean? This whole music scene, like, they was all in it. So naturally, I'm listening to what they're playing and stuff, and they've been playing stuff from, like, Dr. Dre since, like, Supersonic days, you know what I mean? I'm not even knowing Dr. Dre done that beat until later on I'm growing up, but
JJ Fad,
yeah, exactly. They've been playing, my sister's been, like, really down with the movement since way back. I'm just a kid watching them, I'm playing the DJ in the back and everything. Just like, wow, this is crazy. Like, I got to be a part of this somehow. And so, like I said, I really didn't want to insert myself all the way into it until Pac passed. Like, I really felt that. At 10 years old, whatever, like, that was all emotion. So I really put some stuff into the universe at that age, and then 6 years later, it started coming in fruition, literally.
Definitely. Now, in terms of your writing, because we talk on this show all the time, and we always have conversations with our guests about the evolution of the rhyme, perfecting your pen and the craft of composition. And this is something that takes, a lot of artists don't understand it. It takes time. You can love the culture, but in terms of rhyming, if you really want to be good, you got to practice, you got to practice, you got to practice. How long did it take you in terms of really perfecting your craft before you knew it was like, okay, like, I can do this? Like, was it a quick study for you, or did it take a couple of years to really, 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 understand the concept of your timing, your delivery, cadence, bar structure, hook placement, everything?
First and foremost, you're only going to be as dope as your influences. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so it's like,
I like that. I like that.
Yeah. I'm only as dope as my influences. So look at me though, right? I'm Mass, right? I've been rapping all these years, XYZ. I'm only as good as the niggas who inspired me. But look though, it's off the list. Tupac, Jay-Z, Nas, Eminem. You know what I'm saying? I started naming names like that. You're like, hold up. That's why this lyricist is on this level. But back to your question, on my fault not to veer off.
No, you're good. Wherever you feel, man, it's off the cuff. Whatever you feel, say it. No, you're good. Go ahead.
When I first started rhyming this shit, I'm just copying the niggas who I listen to, who I like. You know what I mean? So I was copying Pac at first, you know, and Cash Money was hot. I'm copying Cash Money. I'm copying Snoop. I'm copying, you know, who's ever hot. So it's almost like a copycat thing at first. So you take your training wheels off. You're like, you know what? I think I can do this. And then the more you do it, the more you turn on it, the more you start adding your own flavor to it. Next thing you know, you turn around, you're doing your own thing. And it's this special thing that nobody else can do because you've done it because off your influences, and that's what you turn to, and you put your spin to it, and now you're rocking. But really, everything you're going to come. What's up? My fault.
Yeah, because when something popped up, I was looking at about your first joint called The Young Mass, which was released in 2008. And everybody that's artists, they always have their baby. And that baby is usually their first project.
Yeah.
And what was it like when you finally was able to release your first project and that feeling of knowing that you seeing people rocking with it and you're possibly hearing your stuff on the radio and you getting your props in the street for it? Like, what was that feeling like when you first finally got that project up?
Man, it was a blessing, man. I had a dope-ass team at the time. We was really working hard. I had just left L.A. from all the stuff I had went through out there, from, you know what I mean, rocking with Digital Underground and, you know, being side by side with Dr. Dre, XYZ. So being independent and coming home and still having the music that I made in L.A., it was a blessing, man. I had features from Yuck Mouth and Digital Underground. All these great relationships I had built in L.A., I was still able to, you know, use for my album. So to come home and get the love that I got when I released it, man, it was like a dream come true. Like all my hard work, all these years, and finally we're releasing, you know, all the hard work we've done in L.A. So that's really what the Young Mass Project is about. We want to give the people all the shit that I've done while I was in L.A., you know, with all my new friends I had acquired.
Now, one thing about the partnerships, Mass, because you mentioned two of the most notable legends in the game, of course, Dr. Dre, and of course, Yuck Mouth. You know, shout out to the Bay Area. You know, for those who don't know about Yuck Mouth's history, before he became solo, he was with the Loonies back in the day. You know, I Got 5 on it. You know, so it's like, how did you click up with Dre in terms of your meeting him?
Man, the universe is a special place, man. And as human beings, we really got the power to do whatever we want to do. It's really how bad you want this shit. So at 15 years old, I basically made a declaration like, man, Dre's a dope. He had already dropped 2001. I was convinced he was the greatest producer of all time. I was convinced he was a superstar maker. You know what I'm saying? And I was convinced that I needed to be under his wing, like, no question. And I convinced myself. I convinced the universe. And so,
right.
Remember 1 year later, so I'm 15 years old. So 1 year later is when I meet Shock G, go on tour with him. I end up living in L.A. The spot I ended up living in L.A. ended up 5 minutes away from where Dr. Dre had his fitness gym. So that's a sick game the universe played with me. They had me 5 minutes away from Dr. Dre for 4 years, and I had been looking for him for 4 years, and he was 5 minutes away. Still got no control.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah. That's the universe, though, man. That's why I said it's a special place we live in, man. But long story short, I ended up getting a job down at the gym, and then by the grace of God, man, me and Dre ended up just forging a real natural relationship outside of music. But it was really glued by music, but outside of the music industry, if that makes any sense. We were just music. Yeah, we just talk about music and, you know what I mean, his projects, and I finally let him know that I produced this shit, and you know what I mean? We had a really dope bond. That's how the shit started.
And
Dr.
you know,
Dre
you meeting
private, man. So for you
yeah,
to be
he
able
is.
to get a connection with him like that, and the bond with him based off of just anything beyond music is a special thing.
How about this? Not even that he's very private. Imagine the people around him, his crew. Imagine the security. Even my bosses at the gym, like everybody really treated this dude like Area 51. So to even get around this guy, the fortress of people who just blocking everybody away, like just don't look at him. Like damn. So he ended up calling me out. I just stayed away from him. You know what I mean? I didn't want to ruffle nobody's feathers and everything. So I see him coming. I walked the other direction. So about a month go by, I guess he hear me rapping some shit on the radio or something. He like, hey, my dude, you's a hip hop motherfucker right here, man. And then from there, the rest is in the books. So he reached out to me.
That's what it is. And the only other person I know of, and there could be other stories out there, we just ain't talked to them yet about it. The only other person I know that he reached out to specifically was Game. For all of our audience out there, shout out to A&E Network. If you have not watched the Compton documentary on A&E, it originally premiered 3 years ago, but you can probably catch it, on demand possibly. If you have not watched that documentary on Compton, watch that, and Game will tell you about how Dre had reached out to him, after he heard his mixtape in the street. And Game is the only other person I know of that Dre reached out to bring him in. So you're an exclusive company.
That's right.
So, all right. So we got to ask you this, Mass. For all of our listeners, is Dre's studio maniacness as they say it is?
Listen, bro. Look. My first day at the studio, what fucked my head up literally was the speakers is as big as a whole wall, and these niggas turn this shit up so loud you feel like you are in the music. Does that make any sense?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The music is so fucking loud, and it's like, wow. I've been waiting for this shit my whole fucking life. Like, yikes. So yeah, the sound is next level, man. Like, that's the greatest to ever do it for real, for a reason. No question.
Yeah. We've heard stories about Dre in terms of his inordinate hours in the studio. I actually have the first Scratch magazine from 2000 and I believe 4, where Dre was on the cover, and they were just
I remember that.
Yeah, and Dre was, they of course had a picture of Dre banging away on the drums and everything, but Dre was talking about, this was like monumental because, as King said, Dre is a very private person. And, you were kind of in that segue between Dre when he was kind of out there doing interviews and where now Dre, you really, he has to be in the mood to talk. So, of course, they were interviewing Dre about just his studio works and everything. And Dre said something about he had been, like, the longest he had ever been in the studio, I think, was, 5 straight days.
The dude's a maniac. That dude loves the music. Like I said, that's the level me and him connected on, just the love for the music. And like I told you, since 10 years old, man, once I made my decision of what I wanted to do, I just engulfed myself into the music, man. I just love the music, and that's the product we got today, man. That's why we're hearing what we're hearing today. Y'all was inquiring about, the cadence and everything, how I got the cadence and everything of the pop shit. Like, that's just a special blessing from the Lord, man. That's really all
one
I can
thing
say
about
to
it, definitely, and definitely one thing about it with you coming from the West Coast, man, you have such a proud, up and down from LA to the Bay, man. You all have such a proud and distinguished. I know my listeners probably, the listeners out here, they always hear, they always hear us, and I always have my favorites out west, from the old school to the new school, of course, like, Compton's Righteous, Sinister, rest in peace. You got Cam, Dove Shack, and I'm just taking it back to some of the old school artists, Daily Threat, of course, King T, and of course the new generation is killing it right now. Shout out to Kamaya with her fine ass out in Oakland. You got, man, I got me a thing. I got me a thing for Kamaya, man. That girl she's so Oakland, man. I think I just got something for. I think I just got something for Oakland girls in general. But of course, Cam and China representing Inglewood, the twin dope of Chocolate Cutie Sisters.
Right.
YG. Of course, he been holding down Kendrick, of course, part of that new wave. West Side Bleeze. Shout out to the Mechanics. On the Bay.
Those my dogs right
shout
there.
out to Uncle. Yeah, man. Shout out. But just. Yeah, man. I mean, of course, I have to take it back to San Diego with Mitchie Slick and the Wrong Kind. Shout out to Meatface, Gangsta E, the whole, LPB,
y'all know some shit.
Man.
Y'all know some shit, Big June, Ryan Anthony, you know what I'm saying? Play D.
Yeah,
AK,
man.
Shout out. Feel me? THC
yeah,
Clip,
man.
You know what I mean? For real.
Yeah, man. And you all, one thing I've always respected about the West is that, there's so many that I forgot to mention, but that just shows the fabric of the DNA of which you come from, because you all have such a rich history in reference. How does it feel to be carrying on tradition in such a distinguished fashion with the lines of which you are descended from in the rhyme?
Honestly, man, I really never look at it like that because, you're inside it, and being in it, you really can't really see what it is and really how it affects everybody else and how everybody look at it. But to me, it's always been like a deep lineage. Like, this West Side shit is not to play with. Like, man, this the house Pop built, Dre built, Snoop built, Eazy-E built, Cube built, you know what I mean, DLC built. Like, so many greats, built this house. So to represent it, man, you can only represent it the right way. I mean, Nipsey Hussle, man, like, R.I.P. to the king. But for real,
yeah,
like,
man.
This West Coast thing is real serious and deep, and I feel like the new artists of today, man, they representing, man, straight up, hands down. YG
yeah,
representing, Problem even representing, Ty Dolla Sign.
Yeah,
I mean, these cats out here putting on, man. TDE, what they doing in the game, I'm loving it. Anything West Coast, man, I'm rocking with it.
Oh, yeah. And also I got to shout out some other artists as well, man, because we got so much love for the West, man. We got to shout out, we got to shout out P. Nice, and Stupid Young from Long Beach. If y'all have not heard them, check them out on YouTube. They got a video that's just breaking the 4 million mark. I'm from Long Beach. Shout out, to, man. Shout out to FC Hop Out. I'm from Fruits. He's got a new song called Raw Dog. These some young boys out here, man, that is really, really it's one thing is I've noticed you all, of course, have always had such an incredible infrastructure in terms of producers that have always been there. You got young guns coming up like Larry J. Of course, you got established legends like Cricket. You got Basshead out there, and you all, of course, the legends like, who else? The Rest in Peace, the Crazy Tunes, but you all have always had such an incredible infrastructure of producers that you never, never really needed any. Yeah. Everything good,
Trying to
King?
get everybody back. Yeah,
okay,
I think we had a little issue with the weather over here. Y'all good?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, we're good.
We're
good.
Yeah. I think we had we had an issue going on with the weather out here.
Okay. All right, we're straight though. Yeah, but
we good now.
But yeah, man. But you. Yeah, but man. You all have had an incredible infrastructure, and you all have always. You never looked in terms of anybody else's cosign. You all have always been able to make the moves, even as we've gone into the digital age of where, everybody does a lot of sensationalism, or we just calling off the cuff stupid-ass stunts. You all have kept it pure, in terms of, just really being, that's not to say other people haven't, but you all have never relied on gimmicks. It's always been straight, genuine article, from the issues of reality. And I've just watched y'all over the years from a lot of artists who may have not been as well known but are still getting a following. And I think that's a testament to showing the tenacity, the determination, the authenticity, and just the genuine love you all have for the culture, for what you all have brought. And it's just refreshing to see that, where so many artists are trying to copy others and reference clout chasing in order to duplicate success. You all are resolute to be your own individuals, to make your own indelible impact in the business.
Absolutely.
So in terms of what you've been doing,
and that's what makes the I had to make sure.
Go ahead, King.
But that's what I like about the New West. The New West, see, the way these guys is operating is they're not waiting for anybody to put them on. Even when YG, he said that I'm one of the first guys to get on without a co-sign without Dre. And he's saying that just to, be disrespectful or nothing like that, but he's just saying that as a bold statement to where we eat our own plates. We our own men.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Definitely.
And that's commendable to see, because when you don't have nobody waiting, that makes more branches from the tree grow out.
Definitely. And a lot of people really don't understand as well is that before YG, got on with, CTE with Jeezy and them, YG pretty much had his own movement running. One of my favorite songs that him and Nipsey did, and of course, man, I always just crack a grin behind it, because that's one of the most thoroughly ratchet ass hood shit that I absolutely love with You Broke.
I knew you were talking about that. Shut up.
Man, when I first heard that, I was like, yes.
That's classic ratchet shit, absolutely.
But that is only something that could come out of Cali the way that it did, and it's like just a collaborative spirit you all have. But because I think for what Nip and YG had outside of their gang ties, were just there was a real sense of collaboration. Do you feel like right now in the West that spirit is still rolling high right now, to where there is a lot of open doors, there are good feelings, there are great vibes for people coming together making good music?
Absolutely, man. I feel like the movement already been going on, but with the passing of Nipsey and whatnot, it's definitely been unifying us a lot more. People been reaching out a lot more. People been tapping in a lot more, you know what I'm saying? So, man, the sky's the limit for the West right now, man. I'm really excited to be a part of this whole movement, for real.
Now, with Nipsey's passing, he was such a visionary. He was such an entrepreneur. He was such a humanitarian. And he also was such an astute businessman in terms of the hustle that he inspired, from how, because even being out in Virginia, Hampton Roads area, South Side, 2 up and 2 down on the seaside, it's like, man, it's like, but I watched Nipsey over 10, 15 years. So I watched this man just from his, mentions in the Source and Double XL to when he made the cover in 2009 on the freshman issue. To just watch this man come up the way that he did, to see how he brought that movement, because I never say single-handed, because you always have help from somebody, but to see how him and his team were so determined and how they made it, how do you think that is the blueprint that a lot of young artists can use in terms of really understanding what it takes to really build it? Because so many artists, what we see today, especially in the game, is we see so many artists that, and it's not to step on toes, but it's also to be firm in the position, you know, being going hard in the paint in the post. A lot of artists don't understand that this is something that does not come overnight. This is something that takes hard work, paying dues, a method, and just a lot of patience. And you have to know that it's going to take time. You know, of course, you know, we all grew up in an era where this is before the internet as we know it today. So your shit had to be popping in terms of the streets to really, you know, feeling your shit. Yeah, man. And it's like now niggas will just throw on a video, and if it gets, you know, 20 likes, you know, 20 views, niggas are hating because they saying, man, don't nobody fuck my shit, y'all hating. I'm like, no, it may not. It may be for two reasons. Number one, you just may not have that push, or two, you're whack, or a little bit of both. You know. But what would you tell artists in terms of understanding the business aspects in terms of, because not everybody's going to have the good fortune that you had and are still having, but what have you learned in the game so far on your journey?
Definitely, it's all about your team. Be loyal to who's loyal to you. Definitely have people around you that got your best interests at hand, and all y'all got to move as a unit. You know, it's not about the solo man. You know, it's not about just the point guard. We need every position to be played to the max.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And as far as the craft goes, do what you feel in your heart. If you feel it in your heart, then it's gonna translate awesome on a record. You know what I'm saying? That's how we got this pop record right here. It's in my heart. You know, I've been, like I said, I've been on this mission my whole life, it feels like. So you got my whole life's work and my whole life's passion boxed into a 4-minute song. It's going to sound like that. You know what I mean? So our new artists, man, you got to put your heart into it, put your all into it. And don't be afraid of the results that come. Because it could be terrifying. You know, it could be some shit you don't understand. As long as you feel it, though, then you know it's coming from the right place, then the universe will accept it.
Now, another highlight that I seen on your Instagram was that the Tupac record is hit #1 on the charts. I think it was Sickness.net.
Right. Shout out to Sickness, man. That's my home San Diego website. You know, they're the #1 site for gangster rap music, West Coast music. So shout out to Sickness, man. That's just support right there.
Yeah, they've been in the game for a minute, man. They used to have the best text interviews.
Yeah, for real. They was one of the first sites on it like that. Shout out to Sickness, man, for real. Cool, it's cool, man. Cool, it's down there. Just one night.
Definitely, man. Look, with it. Man, look, to be #1 on Sickness.
It was Sickness and WCNN. Those were the two main West Coast sites that was popping at that period.
Yep, I remember.
That's where I used to get all my audio from.
Yeah, that's before Thizzler and all that shit. For real.
Man. But that shows you making impacts out there, man. This is Off the Cuff Radio on this Friday. Call number is 1-619-924-0703. We are here with the one, the only magnificent rhyme spitter from the West, Mass himself. We're sponsored by Da Vinci Clothing and Buddy Boy Entertainment. We are in the building.
Yeah.
So definitely with Mass. You are such a Pac fan. When the All Eyes on Me movie came out, where did you feel that they got it right, and where do you feel they got it wrong? Take your time.
First of all, I love All Eyes on Me movie. I love that. I just love the spirit of it. Like, you know, we bringing Pac back alive. We really going through every stage of his life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just feel like it could have been produced better as far as cinematic wise, because I'm a real big movie buff and I'm a movie director and editor and all that. I'm in the film myself. I got 2 films I was a part of, and I got more films on the web. But so as a film guy myself, man, I just felt like Pac deserved a Scorsese level film, like, period. point blank. Especially being he was a thespian himself. Being that he was an actor, he was in the arts of acting. They could have done him more justice on that level, production wise. I'm really big on, my scenes. I got to picture each scene. You got to be perfect. Like I love my Scorsese films. I love my Hughes Brothers classics. My favorite director currently is Deion Taylor. He's phenomenal, African American director, and I just feel like it could have been better production wise. But as far as the spirit of it, Demetrius Shipp did an amazing job. Elsie Hutton did an awesome job. Everybody did a great job. I just feel like production could have been a little better film wise.
Definitely. Now, Mass, also because you're a movie buff and a Tupac fan, I'm going to quiz you right fast. You also know that Tupac directed a music video, too.
Yep.
And you also know who that was. We got to shout out the Bay, man. Shout out to Mac Mall with Ghetto Scene, man.
Long. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and that was the first video that Tupac, for all of our listeners out there, if you didn't know, now you know. That was the first video that Tupac directed, the first music video that Tupac directed.
You want to know how I know that? I know that because not only is my boy cousins with Mac Mall, but I was down with this guy. I was down with this guy named H. Ryder, who's a member of the Outlaws, and he pretty much, segued the whole situation.
That's what it is, man.
No. Well, what he did was he told me that he was in the video, and that's what he showed me. Like, yo, I'm in this video, this Pac's first video, XYZ. And so I was like, what? So, yep, that's how I found out. Shout out to Mac Mall. And shout out H. Ryder.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Bay, man, all day. Now, in terms of where you're seeing the game right now, because we've seen, on this show, King, Sandman, Chinchilla, myself, we always talk about on the show about just what we've seen in the business of a lot of artists coming into the game where they really don't have a love for the culture and where a lot of times they've used a lot of theatrics rather than talent, a lot of antics rather than actual facts, and a goofiness rather than really than grind. What do you see going on in the business right now with a lot of artists who seemingly are making a mockery rather than a contribution to the game?
What's crazy about this internet day and age, man, is that anybody now got a voice. So, with that being said, anybody can, fabricate this shit. Anybody can duplicate this shit, recook it, reheat it up, feed it back to us. And it's up to the people, man. Us as the people, if we say, yo, we don't want this bullshit, and push it back in their face, you know what I'm saying? Then how they gonna eat? How they gonna provide? What's gonna make them keep going on? What makes these dudes keep going on and what makes all of it keep existing is the fact that we give it a lane, we give it a platform. So to speak to that, I got to speak to, the content creators, the curators, of these playlists, and, everybody listening to them, these radio hosts, these DJs, these bloggers, the game is really in their hands because they make what's hot now. So somebody like DJ Academic to turn around and blow up, little boopy boop from whatever, you know what I'm saying? And, if the people rocking with it, then shit. Academic just made another star, So I feel like if it is going to be like that, then I feel like we need more curators and we need more people who are unbiased and who, really love the culture and really is about the art of this shit and when this shit really meant something, X, Y, and Z. Like, for example, you guys, you know what I'm saying? Y'all doing y'all motherfucking thing up there, man. I got to salute y'all because who else will give me a platform to speak? Who's going to give me a platform to speak about this, what we talking about? Like, this some real shit, and you're not going to get this shit everywhere, so shout out to y'all. That's how it go.
Well, we appreciate that, and we got to expand on that a little bit too, because me and King have had many off-the-air discussions about academics and how he goes about things, and I'll leave it at that.
There's a lot of these guys in general, man. There's a lot of these guys in general with based off how they treat the culture. Because what make us do what we do is we want to focus the focus point at the music, not the treacheries behind it, not the circus acts behind it. And I think that's where a lot of content creators are focusing more. They're focusing more on the fuckery and less on the music.
Right. Yeah, it's a fuckery-based business right now.
How do you think it got like that? How do you think it turned into that? Like, where, because we're from the era, yeah, man. Where do you think it all started to happen in terms of the turning in the worst way? Because we grew up on a time where Rap City, you know, Yo MTV Raps, The Box, you know, Source Magazine, they were really the guardians, you know, and the Source is still a guardian of it, albeit in a new fashion in terms of being modernized, and Double XL as well. But this is going back in the day where they were like really like the gospel of what was really going on in the game. And it's like now where we have people who were really connoisseurs, who, as you say, you know, who, as you say, were curators, who were the, you know, keepsakes of what was going on. It's like now we have people that absolutely know nothing about hip-hop culture basically dictating the taste of what the palette is for the people. How did we get to lose control of it?
Look, and you know, people might be mad at me for this or whatever the case, but to me, I feel like the shift started coming in once Wayne took control. When the game shifted from Jay-Z to Lil Wayne, okay, everything changed from the spectrum of how lyrics was accepted and perceived. Because Wayne came with the scatter rap, right, where he was saying a whole bunch of shit that don't make sense, but he'll argue and he'll enthrall you in the shit, but at the end of it, you didn't learn nothing, you didn't gain nothing, like you really took nothing from that shit. Versus the last guy who was in charge, Jay-Z, when he was on top, you learned something from every last Jay-Z album. You learned something from every last Jay-Z bar. He's giving game, he's dropping jewels, he's giving the knowledge, you know what I'm saying? And that's really what the game of hip-hop had been for the last 10 years while Jay-Z had it. Because he remember, it's coming straight off of Tupac and Biggie's heels, right? So we really can only judge hip-hop from the guy at the top, because that's the guy who's most noticeable. That's the guy who's going to pretty much dictate the whole spectrum of what's happening under him. You got me?
Right.
So,
and it's funny. Oh, go ahead.
No. Talk about it.
I think, and it's interesting you say that, Mass, because when you look at it with Wayne, and people might get mad at me for saying this, hip hop in the recent years has always been become a more trendy kind of. It's been treated more as a fad rather than an appreciated art. And it has come to the place where it's about who's being marketed to where everybody just jumps on it. Now, you know, when you're dealing with artists like Wayne, because I'll tell anybody, when you listen to his first album, The Block Is Hot, and even the stuff he did with the Hot Boys from 98 with the Onset to and The Block Is Hot, I believe, came out in 2000, his first solo record. So when you're seeing this over a 2-year period, you're hearing Wayne's rhyming from where he was and when he started on the Carter series to where it goes into a totally different place. And on Off the Cuff, we're never about blabbery, you know, or gossiping or chatty-patty. We only speak on what has been documented. This is also coming around a time going into the mid-2000s where you're hearing the rumors about Gilly the Kid. You know, shout out to Gilly, met him, great guy from Philly, a legend in his own right for major figures and doing his own thing. You know, so when you're dealing with Gilly being at Cash Money at the time, and Gilly has told this story, you know, numerous occasions about basically how he was writing Wayne's raps, you know, which you could say really was the spark that was getting Wayne out there in terms of help ascend his rise. And then, of course, you know, Gilly leaves, and then Wayne, you know, some would argue lyrically he was still on that same horse. And some people say the steroids were gone, you know. because Gilly wasn't there. That's up for debate because nobody, unless you were there, knows what really was going on. But Wayne became, I guess what I'm saying is Wayne became fashionable to get behind. And, you're right. Not every Wayne song made sense at certain levels in terms of the lyrics. But everybody was riding it because that was the Wayne train.
At the end of the day, being a hardcore Jay-Z fan as well that I am, you know what I'm saying? You really can't really compare that shit at all. It's like not even close. Not even close.
Right.
I feel more intelligent after listening to some whole bars. Like, I really, Jay's different, man. He's different from anything we've ever seen. He's just different. And, to follow that up, to Wayne's credit, he did his thing. He definitely did his thing, but, you can't compare that. And so, think about it. The next generation that came up under Lil Wayne, they had that as their catalyst or as their role model of what hip-hop should be. You see what I'm saying? And that's when they started expanding the boundaries, and that's how we ended up where we are today. With the melodies and heavy auto-tune, lack of content, all of that shit. It was a slow progression, but I watched it happen since then. Once I realized I didn't care about the content no more, I was like, okay, this shit going somewhere else. Fast.
Yeah. And I think also, too, keeping it real, some people may say I'm the angry old man saying this, but the fact is, when you look at it, Wayne, started talking about the lean and all of that. He was with his cuff and everything. So you're seeing a lot of artists coming up behind him. And I tell anybody this, weed and lean are not the same thing.
Shit, 40 ounce and lean ain't the same thing. You know what I'm saying? My generation like a good 40 ounce, like a good OE. You know what I'm saying?
True that. Oh, man. Boy, them days. Look, remember them old St. Ives commercial? Shout out to Nate Dogg, rest in peace. Just hit the corner store. You know what I'm looking for, St. Ives. Oh, man. Look, St. Ives. Look, King, they was running that campaign, won't they, back in the day?
Yeah,
yeah, man. But when you see that now, do you think artists basically have taken, because Wayne had a hell of a run for the time that he did, but do you think a lot of artists think that they can emulate what he did rather than trying to make their own style, rather understanding that Wayne was a singular artist that was able to make his lane and create his own level of achievement and accomplishment?
Well, you got to remember, man, we're in a game where everybody feels like they can duplicate somebody else's success if they do exactly what that person done. But that's a fantasy. That's never happened. It'll never happen. You can never try to emulate another person's exact steps and think you're going to get the same results. Impossible. I don't give a fuck what you do, how hard you do it. Nigga, you have to come out at the exact same time from the exact same vagina. A twin can't even do what his twin can do. Like, a twin, like, you was born a second later. Nigga, you wasn't born at the same time. You was born a minute later. What are you talking about? You're not him. So
Now, we had Glasses on the show a couple months ago. Glasses made a very interesting observation. He wasn't saying it to troll. He was just saying in terms of, for the sake of comparison and competition, because he said basically when you look at Nas and Wayne in terms of the music, in terms of how they were able to work it, he said Wayne basically had the better overall career in terms of it. And I understood where he was coming from in terms of he was looking at Wayne's commercial success versus Nas's level of lyricism. But do you think a lot of times there has been too much emphasis placed on a perspective of what is considered commercially viable in terms of how it resonates with the listening public rather than the actual artistry? And is it basically just, when we break it down, there's no substitution for just being a dope artist, no matter what your commercial appeal is.
Facts. I mean, me and Gonzo just had this conversation today, man. If you're an artist, right, and nobody knows who you are, then that's what that is. But if you're an artist with commercial success, but nobody respects you, that's what that is. So it's a fine line between the shit. Because then we have Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice is a high-selling hip-hop artist. What level of respect does he have hip-hop-wise? 0%.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What's his stock value in hip-hop? 0%. So, you know, it depends on how you're looking at it, man. Because, of course, as a hip-hop artist, as a lyricist, as a person who's trying to impact culture, change the world, change the scope of how we see things, you want to make noise. You want to get as big as possible. You want to get your outreach to as many people as possible. But sometimes you have to sacrifice your craft for that. So that's when it's like, damn, do I really want to water my message down? Or do I want to just reach the masses and then play my cards there and try to switch the message once I get on top? You know what I'm saying? That's something every motherfucking artist is going to have to wrestle with at some point in time.
Yeah.
And it's funny you bring that up, man, because even Glasses, he was talking about that today, because him coming from that lane of being a reality rapper, like a lot of West Coast guys, they basically reality rappers, like you telling truthful stories. Right. And you going in comparison to guys that are, you know, very over the top with their gimmick. Like he'll compare a guy like Rick Ross, who, you know, he go over the top with his gimmick. Like he took the man, he took another guy's name, took a guy's beard, took his guy's whole swag, and made up over-the-top scenarios about him knowing the real Noriega, knowing that he can't talk to him. I mean, it's just stuff like that. You basically got to play the WWE game to a point.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And when you look at what happened with Vanilla Ice, you know what I'm saying? We're all old enough to remember what happened with that back in the day. I mean, and I mean, this was a situation where this dude was talking about, you know, how he was, you know, from the streets of Miami, you know, that he was like out there, that he was even a motocross champion at one time.
Okay.
And then, you know, we find out, that he embellished all of it, you know, like it was none of that. And then even the situation to add insult to injury, you know, a couple years later when we find out about how he got shook down literally out of his money, you know, his publisher. Yeah, so the game. Yeah. Yeah, man. So,
rich history, man. Rich history.
Yeah, and it's something like King said, you know, because when you're a part of the game and you're from the place, you know, in terms of where, you know, there's palm trees and gangsters, you know. You got the fofos, you know, and the lolos, you know, you got the bitches, you got the bitches and the blunts, you know what I'm saying? You know, the hydros and the hydro, you know what I mean? I fuck with y'all out west, you know. So it's like, so you're from an area, in terms of the street life, because gangs have really become a element of conversation in the culture in terms of authenticating rappers' real life. We know rappers, you know, who were really out there, you know, Suge, Mob Pyru, you know, rest in peace Nipsey, Rolling 60s, you know, Eazy-E, rest in peace, Kelly Park Compton Crip, along with MCA, you know, Mitchie Slick, Linkin Park Blood,
on everything.
You know, what Dub C, 111 Neighborhood Crip, you know, Glasses Malone, Watts Crip, you know, when you got J Rock from Nickerson Gardens, you know, Bounty Hunter Bloods, YG, Treetop, Pyru. So we see a lot of artists out here who were really out there, lived the life. But we see so many artists that have not but tried to, and these artist shouts remain nameless, buying affiliations. You growing up in California.
And the big homie speak.
Exactly, like King said. We talked about this a lot. Growing up in Cali, man, how real were the streets in terms of what, tell us about where in Cali you grew up in terms of what it was like in terms of the streets out there.
Listen, man, San Diego, California, literally every other one of my homies is either a blood or a Crip. You got me? So I pretty much grew up in the middle of the shit. So one side I got these blood, these gangster niggas, and then on this side I got all these Crip niggas. But they all my homies. I went to school with all these guys because I went to 2 different schools. You see what I'm saying?
Did you go to Lincoln High School?
No, sir. My sister was the vice president there.
Okay.
Vice principal, excuse me, the VP up there.
What about
Skyline? VP up there. Nope, I went to my McGill High, and that was in the heart of Skyline. You know what I'm saying?
All righty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I know about the history between Skyline and Lincoln Park Blood, and I know that I know that friction between them, and I also know about another gang out there by the name of Logan Heights as well.
Okay, so you know some shit then, man. Hey, you know some shit. I thought you were going to start talking about some crime things and shit. Hold on, right?
I'm sitting back listening. I'm like, look, let me get me a chair.
Nah, you'll talk to look, man, coming up in this shit, going to the trolley station, man, you can lose your damn life, man. Straight like that. Straight like that. So, navigating my way through it, man. I chose music early, remember. I was on a mission, 16 years old.
Right.
So, at that age, I made my decision. It wasn't like a possibly. It wasn't like, man, what if, or I pray. I, made my decision, or this is what I am, this is what I'm doing. So I never had time for none of that shit. When niggas was out, wanting to go shoot, do drive-bys and run missions and all that shit, I'm at the house producing something, or I'm writing a new record, or I'm doing some research. And they're like, oh, man, you's a nerd. Like, hey, man, I'm on a mission, bro. My bad, My bad. But don't get it fucked up. I was definitely outside when I needed to be. But I've been on a mission, man.
Well, like they say out in the West, man, you was active, when needed.
Absolutely. That's never been the question.
Do you think a lot of times, in terms of a lot of situations, because we've also seen a lot of homies lose their life in the street trying to really play up to a lot of it, and even, of course, and if not being killed, like we look at the situation with Tekashi right now with him, banging blood, this, that, and the other, and now him, Treyway, him and Shotty, the whole Treyway clique, they done got themselves caught up in something that it's going to be interesting to see how that situation plays out. Do you think a lot of people look at it from a perspective of trying to emulate and try to celebrate a lifestyle that ultimately, that if they have not lived it, that they really don't understand the real consequences of, just to promote themselves?
Of course, man. I mean, when you're making money and this shit's all fun and games, then ain't nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? You can be the biggest whoever you want to be, and you know what I'm saying? You can hit XYZ block. But when it hit the fan like it didn't hit for them boys, and you see the outcome of how that shit all turned out, come on, man. You were never built like that to begin with. So a lot of these kids is really buying into that false-ass image, that false narrative, and that's really not what it is, man. It never ends well. It's never had a good ending. So that's the type of shit I like to try to preach in my music, and when I'm speaking to these youngsters. Like, look, man, look at the whole spectrum. Look at the whole story. Don't just look at the glitz and glamour of it. What's the end result? Because it's always the same end result.
You got to provide that balance. There's not really a lot of balance within the music. I think this is where the frustration remains with a lot of people, from the legends, from the listeners. You don't really have that lack of balance. Like, everything is turn up, pop pills, and you're not really getting the gist of what could happen. That was what made the music back then real powerful. Like, you also had a contrast of the consequences as well. Like, if you in the dope game for so long, this could happen. Kick those could happen. You can do 25 to life.
Yeah, man. And it's interesting. And it's interesting, King, when you say that, because we look at a lot of the albums. When we look at the evolution of hip hop, of course, Straight Outta Compton, when it was released in 1988, was so groundbreaking because the street life, and we always speak about it on the show. That was not the first West Coast gangster album. Ice-T's Ron Pays predates that by 2 years in 1986.
Yeah.
But it didn't have the same impact, albeit it was a classic that Straight Outta Compton would have. But a lot of people really don't understand it because when you're dealing with the gang affiliations, everybody, that would open up the door for gangster rap as we knew it. And I'm going a few places, but I'll bring it home. But it was a situation where when you're dealing with the gang affiliations like with Compton's Most Wanted, MC8, shout out to MC8, Boom Bam, The Chill, all of them, Chili Chill, because they were all, Trag New Park, Compton Crip. Now, when you look at their cassette, I believe it was Straight Checking Them, was it a Compton thing? It was their first album, I believe. And it was one of those cassettes that was all blue. Now, if you were from L.A., you knew what that blue meant.
Right.
To us out here who weren't from L.A., we didn't know about it like that. Of course, on, Ice Cube's, My Summer Vacation off a Death Certificate, where he talked about a drive-by in Missouri. So this was some real shit. But, also in the midst of where the gangster rap albums were and then the pro-black albums, there would be, of course, with KRS-One and the HEAL organization with Ms. Melody, rest in peace, the self-destruction and the Stop the Violence movement of the West Coast. There was one album, and it always stands out to me because during that era, to, piggyback what Alpha King said, it was LL's Walking with a Panther album. That was a dope album when you look back in the retrospect of it. But during that time, that album was so much party in excess. LL said himself, when he dropped it, people hated it because he felt like that was too much hedonistic and just too much wildness on it. You know what I'm saying? And people felt like it wasn't really an album that was representative of the culture in a sense.
Right.
But how do you feel, Mass, about how rap has gone from so many different levels in terms of music to style to fashion to just the business aspects? From what you learned from 1996 to 2019, how have you seen the business change in terms of how it operates? Is it pretty much the same, or are there more elements to it?
The business is always going to be the same. There's always going to be guys at the top who's controlling everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's always going to be guys at the bottom who is going to make their money on the street regardless. But as far as the industry goes, I feel like it's definitely watered down. I feel like it does not cater to the lyricist. I feel like it does not cater to the real person, the real black man who want to, speak positivity and speak real shit to the public. I feel like that message has been suppressed. I feel like there's a homosexual agenda they're trying to press. I've seen a lot of things transpiring, man, since I came in the game, since I vowed to do this mission, and I embarked on the mission full-heartedly. It's changed valiantly. But one thing that remains the same about the music is the real shit will always rise somehow, some way.
Yeah.
The people who are looking for the real shit is going to get their hands on it. So that's what I do. That's what I cater to. That's what me and Don cater to. That's the caution way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. And we got to shout out.
The rap game is at a trip, yeah. It's like at a real slippery slope, man. Like, even when we talked about this on one of my videos, I had to chime in on this about the Vic Mensa wearing drag thing. I'm like, we go from fight to power, fight to power with panties. Come on, my nigga.
Oh, shit.
I had to go there.
And I seen it, and I was like, and I can understand, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna just say it. Now there are certain characters with men dressing in drag that was actually comical to a degree, but it, like of course when you had Jamie Foxx doing Wanda the Ugly Woman on A Living Color, You know, you had Flip Wilson back in the day. You know, but by the same token, that's something, conversely speaking, simultaneously, I've kind of been uncomfortable with, because it's just certain elements of it I just don't think, especially for what black men, for what we deal with in American society and everything we have to fight against. I don't think that's something that we need to really be doing a lot of, if at all. So when I seen Vic do that, but I can even understand at certain levels of theatrical comedy and art, I can understand it if it has a message. With Vic, I couldn't quite understand what the hell he was getting at. I really couldn't.
Yeah, it's shot fired off the club. No, I had to do it. No, I had to do it.
That was the next level shit for your ass right there.
Liar, son. I was like, he can't even come back to the shot after that. But that's just the dynamic of what we dealing with, man, because it was like, yo, if you came with that back then and you were supposed to be considered street or solidified street rapper, man, them boys will clap you up quick, whatever it be on the mic, or they'll just pull your bridges up at the club somewhere.
Right.
They'll give you straight wedges.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? What has Onyx said? Onyx said on Back the Fuck Up in 1992, 93. Bitch ass niggas, I'm gonna have to pull your skirt up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
shout out to my nigga Sticky.
Yeah, man.
Onyx is still putting out some heat. I'm glad you brought that up. Them dudes been putting out some heat for years, low key.
That's my nigga, that nigga Sticky, man. I got a lot of love for Sticky, man. He was around my young days in the game, coming in.
Definitely. And as King said about, you know, them still putting out music, you roll with a legend, Gonzo. And Gonzo, shout out to Gonzo, one of the most hilarious and real, you know, dudes we've ever had on a show. We love him dearly.
That nigga's a beast.
What? Yeah, man. In terms of it, if, you know, with Gonzo, Spice One, you know, Razzcast recently just dropped his collaboration with Diamond D, you know, Grammy speech, for those who have not heard it, you know, of course, you know, Uncle Coke, you know, how do you feel when you have young artists trying to tell older legends that they can't pick up the mic anymore because they're too old?
That's foolish. You know, they don't do that shit with rock and roll. So y'all not going to pigeonhole us in hip-hop. Like, I don't care how old my legends get, man. Y'all can rock until y'all 101 if you want to. So any youngster that's saying that is way out of line, and he not understanding that legend is the reason why he even got a goddamn job today. So I don't subscribe to that at all. We got to hoist our legends up. I'm one of the dudes who, since day one, always represented the legends. I came in with the legends. You just ran this way, your house. I came in with the legends, man, and I made it a point to be a student, right directly up under some of the greatest dudes for that one reason. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that, you know, anything ever happened to them, they got at least somebody who can hold this shit up to some type of standard. Somebody. Right. So that brings us to the Tupac shit, right? So we in the day and age, right? 2019, the man been gone all those years, and when he first left, it was a real big standard, right? Nobody could slander him, nobody could, you know, just how it is with Nipsey right now. But it feels like the more we remove, the more we forget about that feeling, because it was a certain feeling, man, that Pac had. It was a certain air that motherfucker wouldn't dare pitch their mouth to say anything disrespectful or any of that. They wouldn't dare. And it wasn't just because Pac himself, the niggas around, like motherfuckers who love him that much, the fans, the people, ain't having it. So the further we go from that, the closer we get to the disrespect and the people saying whatever they want to say and feeling like they got the freedom to say it because, you know, ain't nobody really riding for them like that. And that shit is out. It's not happening. No more.
And
not while I'm around.
And it's real that you say that because, you know, Whack 100 And as much as I respect Wack's business hustle, I could never understand why Wack always felt like he had to say something about Pac, and I could never understand it. I'm like, Wack, what do you have against this man that you constantly have to say something about him? You know, and it just...
Niggas can't deal with the legacy. Like, if niggas been going this long, he's still on top. Like, that would make somebody mad who wasn't feeling him while he was alive, right? If I didn't like it, if I had an enemy, and the whole time he's alive, like my worst enemy, I just hate his guts, and then he dies, and everybody praised this nigga for the rest of my years, I would probably feel something like, damn, like, this man's going, and he's still whooping me from the grave. I still can't get away from his name. I still can't get away from his likeness, his legacy. I got to smut. I got to, like, at some point, like, it's been long enough now. All right, I feel comfortable to smut now. Same thing with Funk Flex. All right, man, he made me so uncomfortable while he was alive. I think the coast is clear now. I think all the guys who represented him, they're all done now. I think it's time for me to go ahead and say what I really feel.
Right.
It's also a scenario where you have, and we also said this too in regards to also the Straight Outta Compton movie. It's like the people who are alive are the ones that control the narrative of the story, and the people that are either incarcerated or locked up, they can't really defend the person that's deceased. And that's the issue that we see with Tupac here, because I noticed when Afeni died, that's where all the gates started opening up. And
yeah, man. Yeah.
And Fatal died.
Rest in peace, Mama.
Fatal was a rider.
Absolutely. Every day, every life. R.I.P. to Fatal.
Yeah, rest in peace
with
to Saint Fatal too,
man. Then you got the boogeyman of the West Coast at the time with Suge. He locked down, and a lot of people that was close to Pac over the years dying of, natural causes or getting killed. It just left the doors too open for it, and now there's really nobody out there to really check people on there. And that's why I saluted Gonzo, because Gonzo actually stood up when everybody was quiet.
Yeah, man.
Except Gonzo and Spice and Richie. Those are some of the few, but a lot of people, for the most part, were just quiet.
Yeah.
Gonzo him, I'm like, man, I know my time is coming, because this nigga is really, really, really making me proud with this shit. Like, I'm watching everything. We seeing who's saying what. We seeing who not saying what. That's what it is. That's where we are in 2019 with the whole Pac legacy, y'all. This is what we left with.
But it also, through you, Mass, we always see something. We've seen something, and Pac said once, "I may not be the one to change the world, but I will spark the brain that will change the world." One achieves immortality through their influence and their offspring. While you may not, while you may not necessarily be his child in a sense, you were a child of his genius because of how he inspired you, and because of his influence, you were able to carry on, in his legacy. And that says a lot, man, because, for so many, he meant a lot. That's our generation, that's our nostalgia, and we know how much that hurt us. Because, there was a lot of situations, of course he wasn't the first rap celebrity to be killed. Of course everybody remembers, Scott LaRock, and his tragic passing, beforehand. Yeah, Big L. And of course, yes, Big L came later, of course in 99, but it's like, but Pac was such a force because he was an established movie star. He was a rapper, video director. I mean, this dude, look, the dude was on Living Color at one time. I mean, of course, that episode they called a lost episode of A Different World, when, Jada Pinkett's character, Lena James, when her friends came down from Baltimore, and that was, Vivica Fox and, Tupac were guest stars in it. This man... Yeah, this man's influence was monumental. So to lose him at 25 years old, was something that it hurt, man, because we knew how it's like with Big 6 months later. We knew what they had to offer. We just knew, we just, and to just see, and I think also too, because while their deaths are inextricably tied because of the beef that they had, which we all know were really just a misunderstanding. But I think also too, I think this has also served as a lesson even today about what happens when situations with artists, stuff gets out of control because of what people say, and like what we were talking about, how when people get out there and want to talk crazy about others, but when you're dealing with emotions and friendships and relationships, people don't really understand the implications of what can really go wrong with this. It's like what happened. When you touch somebody, like what happened with Jimmy Henchman's son, when that dude, Lodi Mac, put hands on Jimmy Henchman's son and did them 2 years for assault. He gets out, and like a week later, he gets killed.
Right.
It's like shit is real out there, and people really have to understand that when you're dealing with certain elements of who people know, there is a real danger when you start insulting them. It may not come right then, but you set a possible, catastrophic karma to come down the line.
Right.
I think part of hip hop we got to get away from is, like I said, the sensationalism and just saying things just for clickbait, just to try to be controversial.
Right.
I mean, that used to work back then, but
shock value.
Yeah, exactly.
It used to work like that back then, because I remember when 50 he came out with How to Rob. It worked for him, but at the same time, look what came with it. He had those repercussions. And see, it's different now with these guys because they in the safety of their iPhone. Like a nigga could be talking all this noise in Switzerland somewhere, but yet so he in the streets like, yo, I could tell this person that, eat a dick and he can't touch me because I'm like, a few countries away.
Right. This internet shit definitely took this shit to a level that I never foreseen coming. But, we adapt, man. We adapt to the times, bro. We don't take none of this internet shit serious. We don't take none of this shit to heart. And we definitely don't let nobody end up getting hurt over this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. But one thing, too, if I can add on, I think one thing a lot of artists have to understand, too, is whatever shit you got going on in the motherfucking street, nigga, when you get into the business of making music, nigga, you need to leave that shit the fuck alone. Because you're in a whole different area now. And we've seen tragic situations of artists where they couldn't quite separate themselves from what they, whether they were, in the street or they had some stuff lingering. Rest in peace, to Black Youngster's, brother, about a month ago when he was killed in Miami. And this is his second brother that he lost.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that.
But youngster had a lot of stuff going on in the street before, he got into the rap game. And unfortunately some of that has still followed him. He was trying to build his grandmother a house in Memphis, and they said niggas tried to burn the shit down. And I'm like, I'm like, damn. They didn't even get that. I'm like, but it's not to troll on him or anybody, but it's all about when you're making that transition, you have to be making sure that whatever issues you have out there, you have resolved them or you have left them alone completely. Because things have a way of following you, and it's not always positive how those things can turn out.
Right.
So pretty much, Matt, pretty much in terms of what you've done so far, in terms of what you're made, in terms of your music endeavors, what's your plans down the line, and who would you love to work with, and what opportunities have been presented to you, going, as you keep going with this?
Well, pretty much, man, I'm the newest member of Caution. You know what I'm saying? So me and Gun's working on that right now. That's to come. I want to work with everybody, man. I'm not biased. We talk a lot of shit about these new cats, man, but, I rock to some of this shit. It's just levels to this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to give you something different than what, the average guy is going to give you that's a new generation cat. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the last of the old generation. I'm from like the Kendrick Lamar and the J. Cole, those dudes in my age range, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all on the same, like, wavelength. We're bringing that type of level. So that's what people can expect out of me. I'm bringing top-level music to compete with J. Cole, Kendrick, and, the world, the Big Seans of the world, the Jordan Lucases of the world. I got something to offer on that level. So I'm definitely coming. We definitely coming. I got my crew out here in Dago, THC, doing our shit, man. We focus, and we definitely got our eyes on everything.
Hey, I wanted to shoot you this question here, and this will also caught my eye about what I was reading about you before I was going on the air. Now, you had something going on YouTube where you were trying to diss 30 of the best MCs of the day. And how do you come with that concept?
Man, Mr. KRS-One, man, pretty much inspired me on that. I was watching a DVD, and I heard him say something like, he writes a diss record for the top 10 every year. So I was like, well, shit, what if I wrote, one for 3 years? There'll be 30 rappers. So it was a fun project, man. Hip-hop was absolutely dead at the time. It was last year, I want to say like mid-September, early October, because I wanted to put it out on Halloween. So, yeah, man, I just did this shit. It took me 2 weeks. I just had some fun, man. Took it back to old school Jack and D, old school hip-hop, man. Behind me. That's it. There's really no rhyme or reason behind it. Did it? Not to my knowledge, man. I've been sleeping comfortable, living good. I mean, shit.
All we got to say is just take it to the mic.
That's it. I'm the rapper's rapper, man. Like, I've really been putting these bars together for many years. So that's really what it was for me. It was a little exercise, And I really only pick MCs I really fuck with. Like, if I really respect you as a lyricist, then, I'll take a couple shots, for sure. Just for the culture. For the culture. That's all. But shout out to those dudes, man. One love. Keep doing that high-level hip-hop, man. And I'm going to do the same.
Definitely. And I think a lot of times people got to understand at the core of it all that hip-hop is a competitive sport, but it doesn't have to be a calamity in terms of tragedies. Because, going back to the battles LL, Kool Moe Dee had, KRS and MC Shan, it's always been a level of just, even with Nas and Jay-Z, a lot of times it was just a situation of, yeah, man. I mean, just seeing them go toe-to-toe with each other on the mic just in terms of, wrestling. But I think people have to understand.
That's my favorite hip-hop battle of all time. Want to know why?
Nas and Jay-Z? Yeah, tell us about it.
Because this is as heavyweight as the match is going to get, right? This is as main event as the match is going to get. There's times where you feel like it could get violent, XYZ. It never turned violent. And next thing you know, these dudes is on stage together and they're making records together, and that's just water under the bridge. That, to me, is the ultimate hip-hop battle, and every hip-hop battle should go exactly like that. It should never be on the street level. It should always be on wax. And, you know, after the winner's declared or however niggas feel, they get their feelings out, niggas should be able to collab and tour together and make money together and boom, keep it rolling. And that's at the highest level of the game, so I salute those two gentlemen. And that's also why I put them on my list, too, because I respect them niggas the most on a hip-hop level.
Yeah. You know, and when we look back in 2001, you know, when that whole thing came out, you know, I think that was just really a competitive issue. I don't really believe that, because I think everybody knew, especially where both of them were at the time of it. Me and King have spoken off the air about this a lot. You know, these were two guys that really, it was just some situations, and then, you know, ultimately it manifested itself in a rhyme battle. But I don't think anybody really expected it to really turn street. When you're looking at that type of money and fame that was, you know, going on with it, but it was definitely something, like you said, Mass. It was, you know, it was interesting because you saw two Titans slug it out. So everybody was waiting to see how this would turn out. You know, maybe one day we'll see the whole story. Somebody will write the whole story about how that whole thing really, really, really came to where it did. And, you know, but definitely with Jay and Nas, that was unique. That was unique. You know, but definitely. It was definitely great. I mean, it was on two of the best albums of that year. You know, Jay, you know, with the Takeover, and then, of course, Nas, you know, on Stillmatic, both released in 2001. Yeah,
those records definitely, I mean, remember, we stepped into the new age with those records, the 2000s and shit. And those definitely was the titans of the game. And when I tell you, both of those albums had so much substance, both of those albums had so much potence. Like, man, Blueprint, forget about it. Musically, Kanye West, Just Blaze, and then Nas is coming with his different type shit, how he do it. Man, great time in hip-hop. Definitely a great time to be a hip-hop fan, and even better time to be a hip-hop student that I was. Remember,
yeah.
Still on my mix.
Yes.
All of that shit matters.
But when you look at it, too, when you look at the producers, you know, Just Blaze, Kanye, because they, you know, because Kanye, a lot of people forget that Kanye was still a baby in the game when he started to a degree. You know, of course, one of his first, of course, he, you know, for those who don't know, Kanye started with No ID, you know, way back in, like, because Kanye goes back to 1996. A lot of people don't know that. You know, of course, working with No ID, you know, he was actually, I believe, you know, him and Common had a couple of, you know, just did a lot of stuff in terms of like just, you know, mess around stuff. I don't believe was ever released publicly. But, you know, they knew each other. Kanye was heavy in that Chicago scene. One of his first albums, and for our audience, if you've never heard it, check out Infamous Syndicate's 1998 release, Changing the Game. That was one of the first commercial releases that Kanye actually had production credits on. Great album, a tremendous underground album. You know, had Shauna, of course, you know her from Luda's, you know, DPT, you know, Disturbing Peace Click. That was her. That was her. You know, she was in a group, and that was like she was just killing it. Just Blaze was coming along a couple years later, but but of course on Nas's end, you know, you're seeing producers like Megahertz, you know, come along in the game. You know, I mean, not only were Jay's Blueprint and Nas's Stillmatic just undoubtedly stellar albums for that era, but you also saw a lot of producers coming into the game that were bringing those soul samples in and those heavy keys. And, I mean, years later, it's almost 20 years later from when those albums were released, and they still stand up with anything today, even years later. That's the definition of a classic right there, when it still holds its value over time.
You know what's
And you know what's wild about, when I listen to the Mass's music is you could tell that not only he's a student of the game, but you could tell by listening to how he constructs his bars and the song structure. And that's why the song with Tupac is number one right now. But reading a lot of his memo, this brings me to this follow-up question. Now, you got to be special when you had Suge Knight wanted to executive produce your album, possibly. Is that true?
Yeah, me and Suge was chopping it up at one point in time. That shit was crazy.
How did that come?
We got to break this down, because this sounds like something from the Charlie Murphy stories here. Like, you kind of like, you just ran into him like randomly, or was he looking for you?
Bro, if I broke this whole, like I said, man, when I tell you, a nigga chose a path at 10 years old, and then everything that happened just blew my mind, nigga, every step. So the whole Suge situation, I was dealing with a chick out in Las Vegas, right? Mm-hmm. This was a lady of the evening, so to speak. Right? So
we already kind of know where this is going.
So one day she called me out the blue because she already know, like, my history. Like, I fuck with all Pac family. She know my history as far as it go with Pac and shit. So she calls me one day like, yo, you'll never guess who I ran into, the Suge Knight guy. I'm like, well, that's crazy. So next time me and her was around each other, she threw me his number, like, yo, you should call the dude XYZ. So I call him randomly, start small talk with the nigga. It was nothing. So maybe a couple months passed, the nigga ends up showing up to a concert I did with Ray J. He showed up with Ray J, and I'm rocking. And somebody comes to me like, yo, your boy Suge in here. I said, what? He said, your boy Suge in here. Introduce me. So I'm like, all right. I ain't never met the nigga in person, so I'm not even thinking the nigga gonna know who I am or nothing. As soon as I tell the nigga who I am, he like, what's up, nigga? We working? What we doing, nigga? I already know the whole shit. Nigga, I did my read. I'm like, wow. So, long story short, the week we was supposed to meet up, the nigga ended up getting knocked out. TMZ, all the shit. Yeah, this is some crazy shit. I'll tell you no lies. The man gets knocked out, bro, and the nigga don't answer his phone for a whole week. I'm literally talking about the day I was supposed to meet the nigga, the day before he got knocked out type shit. The man ain't answer his phone. So I'm in L.A., supposed to be linking with him, he don't answer. So by the time I catch up with him again, he on some whole other wave.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing was with Suge, because it was, and we only speak on this because it's the shit we know actually happened. But I mean, that was just a crazy time for Suge. I mean, that situation happened, and the Chris Brown party where he got shot. We were just like, damn.
Back to back misfortune. It was crazy.
Yeah, and it's like.
And that boogeyman image just started getting shredded away little by little. And the young bulls just started like, okay, we could test them now. The bully is wounded.
Man, we were just bugging because it's like.
We was out in Arizona for the All-Star Weekend one time, and Akon people had jumped on them in the lobby.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. We didn't hear about this.
Yeah, it was a smaller story, but yeah, I can't remember whatever the year was. The All-Star Weekend was in Arizona. Suge, I got jumped on that weekend too.
I think that might have been 2003, 2002, possibly. I said that bad because Akon came out around 2000. That was probably around maybe. That was maybe around 2000. That may have been later. I'm thinking of when Akon first came out.
That had to be later. That might have been around he got beat. After
that may have been around. Yeah.
It was after the knockout for sure.
I had my time frames all screwed up. That was probably around maybe 2011, 2012. That might have been around 2012, 2013.
Damn.
Because Suge ended up, that situation on the Straight Outta Compton set happened in 2015. So this would have probably happened between 2012 and maybe 2011 and 2014 that happened. But man, that's crazy.
Man. Look, I'll tell you one thing, man. Whatever you put into the universe, that laws of attraction shit is like for real. And it really didn't hit me until my boy had passed away. It was my boy who really had got me close with Dre. Like as far as his brother was Dre's right hand man. He appeared in the movie Set It Off with him, and he was like the president of Aftermath ever since Aftermath was created. His name is Bruce Williams. Yeah, so his little brother, his name was Matt. I call him Deuce. You know what I'm saying? My nigga Deuce, he was the one that made it cool for them to like me and shit. You know what I'm saying? He was the first dude that was fucking with me at the gym. But that dude right there, he pretty much laced me and let me know everything I need to know about like how Dre and them get down, you know, everything. So, but he ended up passing away. He ended up getting killed. So, you know,
our condolences.
Off top, man. I just hold his memory high, man, because that's the dude that made it. You know what I mean? He got me and Dre cool, man. So, much respect to my brother.
Definitely, man. All right. So, for the time you knew Dre, did he really think that Detox wasn't going to be, you know, what we know it would have been? Because the stuff, because I have my sources, and some of the stuff I heard that got to the street from Detox was unbelievable. I mean, it was like, if Dre considers that B-, it's still A+++ in the street. I mean, look, what was Dre's? Go ahead.
No, ask a question.
Yeah, what was the deal with Dre in terms of Detox as to why he kept delaying it until he decided to shelve it?
Okay, I love this question because this question is a part of my history as well. Because
go ahead, please.
At 16, remember I told you 15, I said I'm a no Dre, right? So he started talking about Detox when I was 16. So when I was 16, that's when I got with Shock G and shit. And when I was with Shock told me one day, I was in Shock's house in Topanga Canyon. It was Marvin Gaye's old crib.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm a 16-year-old kid. I'm up here with the most legendary dude I could think of, you know what I'm saying, in this legendary-ass house. It was just epic-ass moment in my life. Plaques everywhere. Shock G's a real private dude, too, and real, you know, eccentric, and he's a special cat, man. But that dude brought me to his house, and we sitting there just talking, and he playing keyboards and stuff, and, you know, he's telling me, yo, if you really want to write for Dre, because I used to always run around talking about Detox, like, man, the Detox thing, I got to help him, and that's going to be my way. And, you know, I used to always talk about that. So Shock was like, man, you should just write. I was like, but I don't know him. He said, it doesn't matter, just write it. So I just started writing for Dre without even knowing him or nothing. I just started writing. And then lo and behold, like I told you, for 5 years, I was literally 5 minutes away from him. So once I finally met him and chopped it up with him and, you know, got to know him and all that shit, and then I told him I rap and, you know, let the cat out the bag, I had all these raps already ready to go because Shock G told me just do it. And lo and behold,
wow,
I'm sitting here with the dude himself and I'm spitting all this shit for him. He's like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? I was just like, damn. This nigga told me to just write this shit. I wrote this shit, and now here the man is like, if you do it, he will come type shit. Literally.
Hey, I mean,
no, so we talking about Detox. My fault. We still talking about Detox.
No, go ahead, please.
So I'm sitting here really on this dude, like, man, I need to be a part of this Detox thing. So he's like playing me close, but playing me from afar. You know, he's playing me little shit here and there. He'll play me something one time, and he'll say, I swear this is Detox, and then the next time I see him, Busta Rhymes has it. Or it's on a new 50 Cent record. Or Stack Hole's rapping on it now. So the thing with Detox was he couldn't get a collection of songs at the same time. So he had some dope songs from this era that ended up being on Snoop Dogg's album. He had some dope songs from this era, but then them songs would end up going to 50. They have some dope shit, and the game will end up having a new album. You know what I'm saying? Off all that shit. So he never could really, he never could really get the selection of the songs he wanted all at the same time. I really feel like. But I was one of the dudes who was always on him about Detox, because of course I've been thinking about it since I was 16. I met Dre at 19, by the way. So from 16 to 19, I was writing for Dre, living 5 minutes away from him the whole time, and didn't even know it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can't make this shit up.
That show you how much of a perfectionist Dr. Dre is, man, because he even said that he don't even like the deep cover track. I'm like, is you crazy? That's one of the hardest songs ever.
That's like iconic.
Listen, this is a fun fact for the people out there. If you're playing any fucking old Dr. Dre music anywhere around Dr. Dre, he's going to leave. He will not listen to his old shit, period. Y'all have that. Y'all enjoy that. He only do that shit for concert time. Other than that, he's trying to keep his vibes clean and fresh for some new shit. He's always aspiring for some new shit.
But it's funny, Mass, when you say that, because a couple years ago when HBO did the Defiant Ones documentary and they talked about Jimmy Iovine and they talked about his business hustle, and this applies to Dre and that concept of music, because they said what made Jimmy successful was Jimmy was not afraid to walk away from the things that made him successful and start on something new that would make him successful.
Yeah.
And when you look at Dre looks at it from a perspective of, what he did at that time is what he did at that time. But now it's time to move on to something else.
Absolutely. That's awesome, and we're moving on. And you know what? I'll give you another fun tidbit about my story. That's crazy. So at 16 years old, I'm with Shock G. I'm with Digital Underground. They take me to this fucking building in the middle of Sunset, okay, Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's an unmarked building, whatever. So we're getting out the car. We walk up to the door. It's like a little intercom or whatever. They beep it. They're like, yo, it's Digital Underground. We're here to see Quick. And then Shock G turns to me. He said, you got your stuff? Because I want you to play it for Quick. I said, what you mean Quick? He said, DJ Quick. I could have fell out. I'm 16. Come on now. I'm not moving too fast for me. You know what I mean? Like, this shit is crazy. So we walk in the building. I see DJ Quick. First time in my life. Bow to him as I should, as any human should. When you see greatness right there. And me and Quick somehow vibe. We was in there working on the record for Mystic. So Quick is in all Shock G and them and giving them they love and whatnot. It's a great moment, but they're really not getting nothing done. And I'm hearing this bass line in my head. So I disrupt everybody after 30 minutes of talking and conversating. I'm like, yo, I hear a bass line. I give it to Shock G. Shock G plays it. Quick mixes it up and does it. It was the most epic studio moment of my life. But what ended up happening is me and Quick ended up having a one-on-one. Somehow, everybody left the room like going to a store or something. We ended up having a one-on-one, and the man's like, yo, dude, you're sick. I'm 16, remember, y'all. He's like, you're dope. You're going to know Dr. Dre, and this is how you act when you meet him. And Quick pretty much gave me the blueprint of conduct to how to act and behave around Dr. Dre when I meet him. He didn't say if. He said when I meet him, this is how I act. And I always have love and respect for Quick for that shit, because he had to do that. I don't even know what made him say that to me, but I was the exact right person to tell that information to, and I utilized it.
Is Dre one of those people that he can be difficult to know but pretty much, or is it once he warms up to you, then everything is straight after that?
Yeah, man. If Dre warms up to you, then it's all love, man. He's a real dude. You know, he's a very what's the word I'm looking for? He's like one of them creative spirits. You can just feel it in his whole aura. Like he's creative. You know what I mean?
I feel you. He's a mad genius. He's a mad genius in his own way. But when you have people, and I mean that in the most respectful way, because when you have people that are that, because Dre's atmosphere of talent is in a whole different is a whole different place, and I think a lot of people, some people may look at it as being aloof or snobby, but it's like, no, it's not. It's just Dre lives music, and he's, as you said, being a creative spirit, he's in a place where he has to vibe with people who he feels, accommodate, and, they basically complement the vibes that he's trying to put out musically. When you have that much of a talent, the last thing you want is bad juju, disrupting that.
Right.
Plus, that's where he had to get away from the Death Row situation, because it's hard to focus and you trying to create magic, and you see people get their ass beat in the office. Hey, that's not a good vibe to have.
But to the respect of Death Row, though, that's also what made the Chronic what the fuck it was. Not only was the music awesome, but you also felt like you could get your ass whooped possibly if you fuck with these dudes. You know what I'm saying? That added a real element to the shit. So think about why the Aftermath label didn't take off at first. You know what I'm saying? It was like that element of danger was gone.
The street.
So yeah, he had to add that shit back in. He's like, oh shit, hold up. Double back up.
Got a little too laid back.
Yeah, it was a hold up.
Yeah.
Okay, there it goes right there. Now we're dangerous again.
And Suge said that in the interview one time about it, where, when Dre did that song Been There, Done That off the Aftermath compilation, that he first released in 96. And, Suge basically said in so many words, Dre talking about how, he don't really want to do all the stuff he did, but he's like, look at it now, But Death Row during that time, for what it was something that, I'm 14 years old when the Chronic drops in the fall of 1992. And the album probably, you could look at, like I said, Straight Outta Compton was the gangster rap album that kicked down the door, but the Chronic was an extension that took it to the next level of the streets. When you listen to the
Doggy Style brought the pop lane to it.
The pop element, yeah. But when you listen to the Chronic, that is still one of the hardest albums I've ever heard. That album was hard. Look, especially to close it out with Bitches Ain't Shit. Oh my God. That was an anthem for the hood. We don't love them hoes. I'm like, man, you want to talk about anthems of sayings and songs? That was like, wow.
Epically timeless, off top.
Yeah. Yeah, no cap, man. That album, but that album was released in 1992. But you figure the albums that would come behind that, for 93, 94, 95, 96, Deadly Threat, when he dropped Sick in the Head in 93, MC8, We Come Strapped, 1994, Above the Law, Black Mafia Life, 1993, Above the Law, Time Will Reveal, 1996, Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style, 1993, what is it? Compton's Most Wanted, Music Drive-By, 1993. Bloods and Crips, Banging on Wax, March 9th, 1993. When that was released. You're talking about a whole level of albums that were just, was it DJ Quick, Safe and Sound, 1995. Rhythmalism, 1998 by him as well. These are albums that the Chronic, just influenced in some way or another. But man,
But yeah, man, we just, here they go, Blog Talk, hit me again, man. They like, yo, y'all better get y'all out of here. But yeah, man, we want to appreciate you joining us, man. We got a great backstory on what you're doing, what you're trying to carry on with Tupac's legacy, and riding with the West Coast and keeping the flag going, man. We definitely appreciate you taking this time to chop it up with us.
We appreciate you so much, man. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, bro. Y'all keep this shit rocking, man. Off the cuff, you already know, Matt or die, man.
Down, son.
We out this bitch.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Gonzo, man. We're gonna you want to say a congrats to Gonzo, man, for making those radio deals too. He's making his airway moves popular right now.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man, going to that executive.
Absolutely. Big up the guys. That's my big homie. That's my dog. I've known him for a real long time, man. We finna fuck him up right now.
For sure, man. So, yeah, we're going to see y'all next week. We're going to have probably some more surprises lined up, so y'all know where to find us. Same time, same date, same channel.
Yeah.